everyone, I'm Tessa from Studio Jane, and I'm teaming up with Kid Made Modern and Indigo Kids to bring you some inspiration using our summer camp kit. We're going to be using wooden craft sticks, yarn, and beads to make wall hangings inspired by the summer days at camp. To craft along with us today, we'll be using our Kid Made Modern Summer Camp Kit, which includes wooden beads, paper straws, wooden craft sticks, yarn, and white glue. You'll also need a pair of scissors. Step 1 in creating our summer camp wall hangings is going to be connecting all of our wooden craft sticks. So for this craft, we're going to be using 6 different wooden craft sticks. You can use different colors or paint them if you'd like. And we're going to arrange them in a hexagonal fashion. So I'm going to use my white glue here, and just taking a little bit of glue, I'm going to put some right on the corner of a craft stick, and then take my other one and lay it right on top. So I'm just overlapping them right in the corner and holding this one straight, and then we'll take a third craft stick here, again adding glue onto one end, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it underneath here so that this bottom craft stick is laying on top of both. And then I'm just pushing these two out at an angle, trying to make sure that they are about the same angles as from each other. And then we're going to create the same shape with 3 more craft sticks and put them all together to create a nice hexagon for our little wall hanging. Once you've glued all 6 of your craft sticks together, you're going to go ahead and let all of your glue dry, and then we'll be able to start our beautiful weaving. To make our weaving, we're going to be using a collection of different yarn colors, all included in our summer craft kit. And you can use as many as you'd like. I'm going to be using all 4 different colors of yarn, and we're just going to start with one at a time. And a very simple way to create a weaving is I'm going to take one portion of my yarn and just tie it around one corner of my new little hexagon. I'm just double knotting it in the corner. So now it's attached nicely to our little hexagon frame, and then you can easily start crisscrossing back and forth. And I'm going to unravel a little bit of yarn here, taking a pair of scissors and just cutting that off so I can easily pull it under. So what I'm doing is I go across, I'm going to go around to go under, and then I can go back over, and then again I can go under, and I can go around if you want to come back around this way. And I'm just kind of picking and choosing where I want to go with my yarn, and just crisscrossing back and forth. Once you've crisscrossed as many times as you'd like, or you've run out of your first piece of string here, I'm just going to again tie a double knot on the opposite side. And this will hold all of our yarn in place. I'm just going to take my scissors and trim off any excess here, and do the same where I started. Now we've begun our weaving here, and we're going to switch back and forth with some different colors. So bringing in some purple yarn next, and we'll follow the same step to incorporate all 4 colors. As you incorporate new colors, you can decide if you want them to go over and under, or you can even pull pieces of your yarn to intertwine in between the previous ones you've laid down. This way they'll all be looped together and woven together in a beautiful fashion. finish our weaving portion, we're going to incorporate our last color of yarn, and I'm going to add some wooden beads on this before I start weaving it. So you're going to go ahead and string on as many beads as you'd like onto your last piece of yarn here. So I'm just going to twist the end of my yarn slightly, and then I can push it right through my bead. Once you string one on, go ahead and just follow the same step to string on a few beads. So now that I've strung on a few different wooden beads, we can go ahead and start weaving again. I'm just going to tie this piece of blue yarn on as I did with my other colors. And then I'm just going to continue the same process, just making sure that my beads are landing somewhere in the middle rather than along the edges as I go. And since I didn't tie knots on my beads, they are adjustable, so as long as they're somewhere in the middle, you can always move them as you go and hold them and string them further along to make sure that they are throughout the whole weaving. Now that the center of our summer camp wall hanging is complete, we're going to move on to add some fun pieces of yarn and decorations to add to the bottom. So to do that, we're going to use more of our same yarn. You can use all different colors again, or just select one. And I'm going to cut a few strips here of yarn. They don't have to be any specific sizes. We're going to have varying lengths of fun little tassels, if you will, hanging down below. So I cut a few here, and first step is I'm going to take my yarn, I'm going to double it over so that I have it basically folded in half, so I have a loop at the top and both my ends at the other side. I'm going to take my looped end, put it over and through my frame, pull it underneath, and then pull both my ends of yarn through the loop. And then pull that tight. And that creates a nice little knot right at the top and holds on your string. And we're going to do the same thing with multiple pieces of yarn here. Once you have covered the entire bottom with all of your little loops of string here, we're going to add in some fun decorative elements to the base, and then we'll be able to cut any extra long pieces and have some fun varying lengths along this whole bottom portion. So a couple fun ideas as decoration on the bottom are going to be adding more wooden beads. Again, you can switch back and forth between different colorful beads or stick with wooden beads to coordinate with our woven portion at the top. I'm going to take a couple of wooden beads first and just selecting a couple different places throughout. I'm going to go ahead and string on some wooden beads. I'm going to push them up a little higher, and then underneath the bead I'm going to tie a double knot to hold it in place. So now that you have your double knot in place, your bead will stay where you put it, and you can put beads at all different varying heights throughout. Once you've attached all of your wooden beads, we're also going to attach some cute paper straws. So taking a couple of these paper straws, we're going to cut these down just using a pair of scissors into some smaller little shapes. So we're basically making little paper beads here, and we're going to attach these in a similar way. So now that all of our paper straws are cut down into about inch long pieces to make nice little tube-shaped beads, we're just going to go ahead and string them on in different locations throughout this fun tail piece, just like we did the beads. I'm going to take my paper straw and take my piece of yarn and just push it right through, and then go ahead and lay my paper straw wherever I'd like it, and then just tie a knot underneath it. Once you've included as many pieces of paper straw and beads as you'd like, then our last step is going to be adding a hanger at the top. So we're going to go ahead and lay this down again, and then take another piece of yarn. I'm going to select some blue here. And we're going to do the same technique we used to attach all of our bottom pieces of yarn to the top. So I'm going to fold my piece of yarn in half, have a loop at the top and both ends on the other side. Take my loop, go underneath and through my frame, and then back out, pull the two ends of yarn through the loop and pull tight. Now from here, you can easily add in anything else, maybe another little piece of paper straw. I'm going to cut these down a little bit more to do a couple different colors of paper straw at the top. So now that I've cut down my paper straw into a couple smaller pieces, I am going to take my yarn and go right through again. So that I have a fun little decorated top, I'm simply going to hold both pieces of yarn together and tie a knot. Trim off any excess yarn, and from there I've created a little top hanging piece. Now your summer camp wall hanging is complete and ready to hang. Thanks so much for joining me, Kid Made Modern and Indigo Kids. I had so much fun crafting with you today.